How are you? Congratulations, Roger. That's a great prize to come in, isn't it? That's brilliant. Very good. Well, listen, guys, I am excited about speaking tonight. And I know that a lot of people have left, but I don't mind that because the reason why is this. I used to sit in those chairs as well and stay on conferences for 3 days. And I know what it's like to go to these conferences, and by the end of it, your brain is literally aching with information. You have headaches, your mind is swimming, you have no idea exactly which action to take because you have so much information. Can anyone relate to that at all? Yes, okay. I was the same way, okay? So I'm excited to speak to you guys tonight. Listen, I like things simple. Do you guys like things simple? Okay. The guys loved me because they were going over this checklist and they go, oh, this is great. You don't need anything tonight. It's just a simple presentation where I'm going to give you some good information, give you a little bit of background and history about myself, and then guess what I'm going to do at the end of the presentation? Try to sell you something. I'm not going to try to sell you something. I'm going to sell you something. Okay, so to start off with, if you can't tell, I am an American. However, that's me in my picture. I moved here to Ireland in May of 2006. So, even though I'm an American, please don't hold that against me. Okay. Now, that didn't get very many laughs. Used to get a lot more when Bush was in office. But I've been here for about 3.5 years. So, hopefully that'll lend me a little bit of Irish credibility. Okay. So, I moved here in May of 2006. And people always ask me why. Okay. Now, of course, men ask me why. Women just say, who's the girl? All right? And that's my wife. That's Rebecca. She's from Greystones, County Wicklow. That was taken a couple months ago. We were in Salou, Spain on our holidays. And we were just in Barcelona there for just a tour. And so that's the Barcelona skyline behind me, which personally I don't think it's that pretty. But anyway. There's that. And I don't know if you can tell in that picture or not, but she's got a bump there. We're expecting our first child in a month, December 28th. So thanks very much. So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to be a father. I don't know what the baby is, what sex it is, just in case you guys want to know, because I don't know, and that's the truth. But so I am looking forward. Hopefully it's a girl, but we'll see. So anyway, that's my wife. That's why I moved all the way over here. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. And I love Ireland. I know the Irish think I'm mad, but I like the cold and the rain. I know. But because Houston is very hot, humid, miserable heat all the time, and most people in Houston always want to go somewhere cold, so I enjoy the cool weather and the rain. Now, I don't like the floods we've had the last week, but I do enjoy the rain. So let me tell you a little bit of background information about myself, kind of where I got started, because, internet marketing, I never thought that I would be online in internet marketing. I've always been very entrepreneurial. I've always wanted to do things in business, and at the age of 20 is when I started up my first company. It was a blind and windows covering business. So what we did is we would go around into the new estates being developed, and we knew who our customers were because you could see right into their house. They just lived in a fishbowl. There was no coverings, no blinds. In the States, you use blinds. I know here, we use curtains a lot, but in the States, it's usually blinds. And so we would go around, and that was my first business at the age of 20, and I did pretty well. I'd make anywhere between $600 and $1,000 for, per job that I did. So for a 20-year-old, it was pretty decent money. Now, I didn't know how to do business. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know how to do anything like that. I was raised in a single-family household, just me and my mom and my brother. And that was my business. It was a big learning experience for me. It lasted for 18 months. Okay, and the reason why is this. I learned a lot about market competition during that time. This was a very easy business to get into, and a lot of people figured it out really, really quick. And so people just started doing it as a side job. In Houston, there's a lot of chemical plants, and so people do shift work. They'd work like 3 days, and they'll be off for 4 days. And so what they would do is they would just do this on the weekends. So they just wanted extra cash. They weren't making a living from it. They just wanted to pay for their, an extra car or a holiday or something like that. So they started undercutting my prices, just slashing them to where I was only making about $100 to $200 per job. And so I ended up shutting it down after about a year and a half. So as I went through that, I learned a lot about running a business. I learned about customers and customer support and just everything, loads of stuff. And I wasn't necessarily the greatest business person, but because I was learning as I was going, but I loved it. I love business. I love helping people, and I've always thought big. Did anyone here think big? Did anyone come here to learn how to think bigger and do bigger? Yes. Okay. I've always thought big. And I've had friends, family, people just look at me like I have a mental illness. Has anyone ever looked at you that way when you talk about what you're going to do? All right? Yes. They look at you and they go, Jeannie, what are you thinking like? Yeah? And then so I've always been that way. Okay? Even from my own mother. Okay? And I think Pat even said it today. He said, you share your dreams with people, your family, and they're the ones that knock you down. Well, my mom's always been a great support, so I'm not dogging her or anything. And she's come a long way in her thinking as well. But I remember one time, I was about 21 or 22, my business was just kind of going down in flames. And she looked at me and she said this. She goes, Jason, why don't you just get a normal job? That way you can live a normal life. And I looked at her and I was crushed. I thought, this is my mom telling me this. And this is what I told her. I said, I would rather try my hardest and fulfill something and never be quite as successful as I want to be than to never try and be average.